Oh. Oh. Hey, Roberto, can you hear me okay? I'm just testing everything. Oh, I'm not very good at this live streaming stuff. I think I've only done 1 or 2 live streams before, and that was on my phone. Anthony, how you doing, my friend? How's things looking in London tonight? You're not out on the lash? Okay, thanks, Roberto. Yeah, guys, so I thought I'd do a live stream. My last one was a long time ago in Russia on my phone in the streets, and I need to do more of this, really. Last night, guys, I got really, really drunk, okay? And I haven't had a hangover in a few years, but I don't know what happened. I had 3 beers, and then I had 1 cocktail, then I had a Long Island. And I don't know what it was about the Long Island, but I woke up today feeling very bad indeed. So I was hungover all day, and I even puked a little bit. So I'm not drinking tonight. I'm drinking tea, fruit tea. But I told myself that I'm never going to drink again, but I got a can of Baltica 7 in my fridge. Baltica 7 Export. So this is better than the real Baltica 7. It actually tastes pretty good, but it's too early for me to be thinking about alcohol. Yeah, Anthony in trendy East London in Shoreditch. So how's things looking in Shoreditch these days? My only memory of Shoreditch is when I was living in London. This was about 2005, 2006, and I went to Shoreditch Market, to see all that overpriced homemade produce. But I never really went out in Shoreditch. Well, only 2 of you so far, but I didn't announce this live stream, so it's my own fault. But I more just wanted to test things more than anything else, because I'm a bit of a technophobe when it comes to streaming and social media and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to see it's working. Come on, one of you two, say something for God's sake. Oh, it says 11 watching, does it, Roberta? I can't see where it says how many people are actually watching. Oh, it's only 2 people have made comments. Oh, I see now, 17 people watching. Brian Smith. Hello, Brian. How you doing, mate? You having a good Saturday night? Roberto asks, what's in your Soviet cupboard? Well, I knew this was going to come up. I've been cleaning in this kitchen today, all right? Because I was so hungover today that it was just a mess in here. And I will show you what's in my Soviet cupboard. So we have some boil in the bag Volga or Bulgur wheat or whatever the hell it's called. We have some fancy Italian pasta. We have some nasty sunflower oil. We have some more Italian pasta. This is what I eat every morning, half a flocken, porridge as we call it in the UK. I got some chicken seasoning. And I got some gym supplement, BCAA. Gives me a bit of energy at the gym. There we go. The mystery of Sasha's Soviet cupboard has been revealed. Hey, Roberto, no, it's not an Airbnb. It's just through a local contact. Brian, I'm drinking some tea. It's Lipton fruity tea. It tastes pretty good. Yeah, so I've recovered from my hangover today, and I'm actually feeling pretty good now. 22 people on the online. Come on, guys, say something. Anybody got any general questions for Tall Travels? Any plans for Justin Eastern Europe to meet up again? Justin's a good guy. I like Justin. He's the kind of guy, you meet up and you can have a good night out with him. He loves his nightlife, going out to the bars and that kind of thing. So I had a good time with Justin. But yeah, if I ever go back to Latvia, which is very likely, then yeah, I could possibly meet up with him. Yeah, Anthony. I don't know. I shouldn't be calling you Anthony. I should be calling you Tony. Thanks. Yeah, the new glasses. So I had problems with the contact lenses recently, and I've been abusing them, to be honest, for years. My eyes get very dry. Sometimes I sleep in them, and I thought, come on, Mr. Tall, enough is enough. You have to be sensible. It's your eyes. You don't want to go blind. So I bought these glasses, but I can't see properly in them yet. I think my eyes are taking some time to adjust to them. And recently I had a fire in the kitchen here a few days ago because I had one of those plastic pasta drainers. And yeah, my eyesight's not so good. I got some blind spots here and here, and I left it kind of hanging over one of the gas hobs. And I went on the computer to do something. Then I smelt burning. And I have to be careful, okay, with fires because I lost a lot of my smell with COVID. So my smell is not that good, but I smelt the burning plastic smell. And I came in the kitchen, it was all lit up, so you have to be careful. So I'm going to go back to the optician. I'm going to get him just to make sure I've got the right prescription. Roberto, have you seen any pride flags or sidewalks painted? Absolutely not. They would not tolerate that. In Prinostravi, there are people that that way persuaded, let's say, which is clear, but that's okay. I think they go by Russian rules. As long as you're not sticking in somebody's face or promoting these LGBTQ values, then you're okay. Hi, George Reyes, good to see you again. What other cities did you visit in Serbia? Well, pretty much the ones that you saw in the video. I went Novi Sad and Valjevo and Užice. And there was another one I spent time in near Užice. Bajina Bašta. And it was a very nice town, but I didn't make a video for some reason, but I probably should have. How's the weather been, TW? The weather has been cold and grey, as you would expect for December in Eastern Europe. So not very pleasant. There's a lot of rain the last couple of days. I was hoping for snow. I like a bit of snow, but it's quite far south down here in Prinostravi, so you don't get that much snow. In Kishinev, it's a bit colder. You get more snow there. Soviet flat, Anthony Nelson. How much is this? About 15 quid a month. 15 quid a month, 15 quid a night. So very reasonable. And I think what helps that makes things a bit cheaper for flats here is that energy bills are almost nothing from these people. So I can leave the lights on all night and nobody gives a shit. For those of you that don't know, basically Prinostravi, this region, they get their gas from this Russia-Ukraine pipeline. They kind of siphon it off And then they got a plant that turns that gas into electricity, so that supplies the electricity. The gas and electricity is almost free for consumers. The sheriff, he has to pass on some costs associated, but it's very reasonable. So you see a lot of electric cars here in Prinostrove because they can charge them for almost nothing. So that's one big bonus for living here. Kieran says, Celtic or Rangers, big man? I'm not really that much into football, but I'm more inclined to be with Rangers, I would say. And in terms of English football, I like Liverpool, but that's only because when I was growing up, Liverpool were the top dogs, in the 80s or whatever, and that's it. I don't have a good reason for supporting Liverpool. And most of the players from the Liverpool team are not from Liverpool. I'm surprised if there's any from Liverpool. I'm not a big football fan. Sometimes, occasionally, I watch Champions League or World Cup or European Championships. Can you work remote? Yeah, of course you can work remotely. It's got good internet in Prinostrove. So no problem at all. What, Aaron Ellis? Good to see you, one of my long-time subs, Aaron. Hope you're doing well. What, if anything, do you miss about the UK? Now, this is a very good question because I'm going back to the UK soon. And as you know, when Tall Travels goes back to UK, you can expect a video complaining about the UK. So I miss my family, of course. So it's good to see them when I get back. But it's little things mostly I miss about the UK, like drinking water from the tap. Okay, so I came home last night and I'd been drinking and I was pretty drunk. And I was trying to find, I had a little bottle of water left, but I couldn't find it. So I went to bed pretty much without drinking water. And I woke up in the middle of the night and my mouth was like totally dry, like, and I couldn't find my water. So I had to go to my kettle and pour out some water that I poured in the kettle to drink. So that's a big problem with Eastern Europe. Evan Pyle, good to see you, mate. How's things going for you there? UK, Greg's, no, that miss. I don't know. I eat those. I go to Greg sometimes. I buy one of those sausage rolls or some bake or something like that, but it gives me heartburn and it's a bit too rich for me. Vancouver's good. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any specific plans to go to Canada, but if I ever went back to America, then it'd be logical to go and have a look at Canada. Evan, he's a golf guy, which I like because I used to play a lot of golf up until a long, long time ago, for like 20 years ago or more. It was since I was playing golf, and I was down to a 6 handicap at one point, and it's kind of like a shame for me because it was a passion in life, but when you move to Eastern Europe, you can't really continue to play golf. It would be better if I took up tennis, to be honest, because you can play that pretty much anywhere. But I do miss golf because I was pretty good at it. Evan, no, I'm not in Russia. I'm in Little Russia, which is Prinostrove. It's an unrecognized Soviet republic in the Moldova region. And nobody with any brain comes here in December apart from Mr. Tall. Just Jordania, I'm in Transnistria, but I can't call it Transnistria because it's against the law here. I could get a fine. So I have to call it Prinostrove, not Pinostrove, Prinostrove. So it's Prinostrove. Anthony Nelson, he's obsessed with alcohol. Bloody alcoholic. He's a good guy, by the way, Anthony Nelson. I met him in Lviv a couple of times, at least one time. And we had some beers together. How much is a pint? Well, I was out last night and I was paying 33 Transnistrian rubles for a good, like the best pub in town, like fresh craft beer. And it's 33 rubles. So in pounds, shillings, and pence, that's less than €2. And if you look at my Instagram, Real Tall Travels, unless in case anybody is not following me on Instagram, I posted a video from there last night. And let me just say the scenery was very good and definitely worth 33 rubles for a beer. In England, you pay, I don't know, down in trendy Shoreditch where Anthony Nelson lives, you pay 7-8 quid for a beer. And I'm sure the scenery is not nearly as good. Any other foreigners? Well, just the ones that, have taken the wrong direction in life, let's say. um, I know a couple of Americans here, and I know a French guy and an American-Russian guy. Okay, I was out with him last night. Oh, and another English guy I was out with last night. So yeah, but not many people spending extended time here. Roberto, have you found a Prinostrov wife? Well, they've got some lovely ladies down here in Prinostrovi. What can I say? And I might be courting one at the moment. I can't say officially, guys. Up to 28 people viewing this stream now. They got nothing else better to do on a Saturday night, like me. Or Saturday, could be Saturday afternoon where they are, or even Sunday morning. Roberto, I saw your comment there. Do you ever think about babushkas? I thought it's some kind of erotic question. Then I read the rest, how they survive on their pensions. Really, I do, because I can tell you that the pension here is $100 a month. Now, whichever way you look at it, that is rough. And okay, the silver lining of this is that home ownership here is going to be very high. And also, I already told you that utility bills are almost nothing. But, even still, you have to feed yourself, clothe yourself, take care of any medical expenses. Medicines are $100 a month. That's obviously very tough. I mean, maybe if they live in some house, they can grow their own produce there. That helps as well. But there's no way to look at it where $100 a month is good. So now there will be people here relying on money from overseas, but not everybody's that lucky. They've got family members working in Moldova or in Europe, somewhere they send money home. And, if you send a couple of $100, if you're able to send a couple of $100 a month home to your family here, then that's very helpful. But the economy is not good in Europe anywhere at the moment. So a lot of people working in the European Union, they don't have that kind of money to throw around. Ollie, hey, Tool Travels, what advice do you give to a 24-year-old? I went to Latvia and Estonia, but I felt the women were very cold and a bit judgy, if that makes sense. Well, all I can say, Ollie, is you have to kind of acclimatize to how things are in the east of Europe. I think you're another long-time subscriber, Ollie. I think, maybe you're from the UK. You're just going to have to accept they're a different breed. They're not all smiles and laughs and hee ha ha. So you've got to acclimatize. You've got to adjust to their way of thinking. They might seem cold. I mean, they are cold. But, when you first meet them, they're like this. But as you get to know them, it's like they start to defrost after a while. They're like a Matryoshka doll, you got to peel off the layers to get into the middle. So, and these kind of places like Latvia and Estonia, they're used to a lot of British like stag tourists going there misbehaving over the years, and they don't want to, maybe they think you're another guy coming there to get his rocks off and drink beer, and I don't know. Milosh, another Serbian bro. How you doing? When are you back in Moscow, Russia? I'll be there in a few weeks around Novi God. I'm not sure I'm going to be there in time for Novi God. I would like to be, but I need to sort out a visa. So I don't think it's going to be completed in time, but as soon as I'm going back. I actually love winter in Russia. Okay. Most of you think, oh my God, Russia in winter, so cold. Not a good time to go. You should go there in summertime, but I like winter because it's very beautiful for a start, with all the snow. Okay, when it's all melted, it's not so beautiful, but it's beautiful there. And I can find beauty, just amazing sky in St. Petersburg, like any time of year. It's just mind blowing. Not just the architecture there, but the beautiful skyline, and it's cheap in winter. Like I can get hotel rooms for like 10 euros a night or something like that. Whereas in summertime, those same hotel rooms are going during white nights for about 50, 60. So it's another reason to like it. Milos from Republika Srpska. Great. I almost went to Banja Luka a couple of months ago. I've been to Banja Luka before and I really liked it. And I was going to go back there and stay a little while, but the thing about Banja Luka is a little bit isolated, and I thought about getting a bus journey there, long bus journey. And Mr. Tall doesn't like buses too much, so I kind of gave up on it in the end. Okay, what else we got? What's up with Just in Eastern Europe? No output anymore. I haven't been keeping an eye on Just in Eastern Europe, but what I will tell you is that when I saw him last, he was talking about his channel and how he's getting somebody to help with his editing. So he outsources. I don't know if this should be a secret or not. I don't think so. He gets somebody else to do his editing, and he kind of said, well, let's see how it goes. If it doesn't pick up, he might abandon his channel. So he's talked about doing that before, abandoning the channel, but I hope not. Because his videos are good. He does good videos about. I saw his videos about Georgia, Armenia, Latvia. He's a foodie. He loves talking about food. So let's hope Justin's doing all right. Thoughts on football hooligans, lads, holiday types? Do they ruin things for the rest of us reputation-wise? Well, of course they do, like these countries we were talking about recently, like Latvia and Estonia, they've been plagued with British people. I don't know why we have this stupid lad culture in the UK, to be honest. Like celebrating birthdays and stag parties. Oh, let's go to Riga or Tallinn, get drunk all day long, and just do stupid things, piss in the fountains and stuff like that. We need to get rid of this, okay? Because it doesn't create a good image for British people. And you know what they're like. It's like you'll see 20 of them sitting in some market square in Europe somewhere with that guttural laugh and drinking and kebabs and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it's up to us Brits to try and create a good impression when we go to other countries. Not everybody. There's lots of different types of British people, and people shouldn't judge Brits as all the same. Kieran says he's 26 in a similar boat. He found Meetup to be great for finding people to go out with. Yeah, that's good. If you can find some local meetups, like language groups are good. I go to those in Russia to meet some locals. And I mean, they kind of use you for practicing their English, to be honest, but it's fine. You meet some people from different walks of life. And it's good so you're not just hanging around with foreigners all the time when you're in another country. Did you ever see the movie Spies Like Us? I'm not watching so many films these days, but I'm trying to watch more and more Russian films, TV series to help me learn the language, and listening to Russian music as well. Yeah, they prevented World War III. Yeah, well, extreme fights. I've been highly considering a move to Tiraspol for the past few years. Establishing contacts who aren't special needs types has proven difficult. Well, that's quite normal in a place like Tiraspol because it's not the kind of place that foreigners normally move to, and so yeah, you will meet a few special needs types here. Sam Paris, hello. I wonder why you don't cross the border with Ukraine and spend a week in Odessa or Lviv. I'm not going back to Ukraine, guys. I've been to Russia recently, and I'm sure they're not going to take kindly to somebody with half a passport full of Russian stamps coming into their country now. And even if I could go back, I don't really want to be honest. I mean, I had the best time in my life in that country, but even before the war started in 2022, I was kind of becoming quite disillusioned with the country. It was getting worse and worse in my respect. So I kind of done with it anyway. So, but yeah, what can I say? Playbook sessions, tool, favorite country so far. Do you miss England? Well, when it comes to talking about countries, favorite countries, there's countries for visiting and countries for living in. So, favorite countries for living in are Eastern Europe because it ticks all the boxes for me. Eastern Europe. I like the culture, like Slavic people. I connect with well. Maybe it's because of my Slavic blood. I like the food in this part of the world. What else? Other women, of course. For me, the most beautiful women in the world. I mean, for my personal taste, I mean, everybody's got their own taste, and women in every country have got some pluses and minuses, but yeah, it's good for that. So yeah, I like Eastern Europe. I've been to some cool countries like Japan. I was there about 4 years ago, and I really like Japan. But I wouldn't live in Japan. I'd go there and spend a month, maybe something like that. But it's not the kind of place I would live. But yeah. Anthony Nelson says, "What do you think of the American election result?" Well, I made it pretty clear on my Instagram that I'm with the top T. But I he's promised to finish the war in Ukraine, but I don't think he's going to be able to wave his magic wand when he comes into power on January the 20th. There's too much money invested in this war, I'm afraid. All these weapon manufacturers, investment banks, people wanting to get their hands on Ukrainian assets, these natural resources in Donbass and the Black Sea. So yeah, I don't think it's going to end in January, unfortunately. I hope it does, of course. TW will be arrested if he enters Ukraine. Caucasian Fritz, remember your videos from Nepal and India? Will you ever go there again? I don't know why. I've always had this affinity for India. I like India. I mean, you can't really say that I've been to India properly because I only went to Mumbai and Goa. But I would have seen more. But first of all, I went there in off season, which is wet season. So it was horrendous weather. And also, I was going to go to Rajasthan, okay? And then there was some ethnic violence at the time I was there. So I had to abandon that idea. And that's why I chose to go to Nepal. And it's a good move to go to Nepal, to be honest, because the weather was better. And it was a bit more comfortable there for tourists, of course, because it's been very popular with tourists for a long time, Nepal. But I definitely want to go back to India for sure. I want to go to the real kind of places so they're a bit more hardcore, like Delhi or Calcutta. And yeah, go back to Rajasthan. That'll be cool. All right, what else we got Extreme Fight, my buddy Oleg from Oleg Walks. I saw that Oleg Walks guy. I think he literally just does like walking videos in Tiraspol. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I should meet him or not. He's another special needs type. Okay. TB, do you consider Japan to be a bit like England of the past, like 1960s, civilized and orderly? Well, I don't know about England of the past. I don't think England has ever been that kind of civilized and orderly like Japan, or maybe it was in 1960s. I wasn't there. What can I say? But yeah, Japan is like pretty. I mean, it's very clean. It's very organized. Everything works in that country. You say you have to take your hat off to the Japanese. But no, I don't think the UK could ever be like that. Roberta, apart from Russian, which women do you prefer, Lithuanian, Latvian, or Estonian? Short answer, from what I've seen so far, I really like the look of Latvian women. They got the best legs I've ever seen. All right, I had a Lithuanian girlfriend back in the day, but yeah, they all seem pretty attractive. Andrew Fogg has come to lower the tone of the group chat, everybody. It's Saturday night. He's had a couple of beers, which is about his limit, I think. Do you like cream pies? Roberta, I'm special needs. Please don't ban us. Okay. I will get them to put it in their constitution in Prinostrove. No banning special needs tourists to Prinostrove. How old were you when you permanently became a nomad? Not meaning you're a Jippo, by the way. Maybe I am a Jippo. 2007, everybody. That's when I left Great Britain, and I moved to Serbia. And prior to that, I've been to Serbia before. I went to Serbia the first time on my own in 2003. And that was just after the NATO bombing of Belgrade, not long after. And there was a dark kind of haze hanging over. So you could have cut the atmosphere with a knife in those times. And, you know, I thought, well, this is a cool place. The last time previous I was there was in 1992 when they had hyperinflation. And I remember people were just throwing money around in the streets because it was worthless. But yeah. Oh, da, 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 da. Ollie, last question about relationships. Would you say dating is similar to the UK and Latvia or Estonia? No, don't be ridiculous. I mean, no matter how Americanized these Baltic countries get, they're never going to be as bad as England for dating, the UK to dating. Case number 145, interesting name. What's your favorite post-Soviet country? Well, at the moment, it's Russia. I want to spend my time in Russia. But I loved Ukraine back in the day. And I like Belarus as well. Belarus has got it going on. And I like Riga. I really like Riga as a city, everybody. Very enchanting place. And girls with nice legs, like I said. Would you ever marry, or is that for idiots? I'm open to getting married, everybody. Unfortunately, my followers on YouTube is a bit of a sausage fest. You know, if I look at my statistics, it's 95% male or something like that. It seems like hot chicks don't want to watch videos about Lenin monuments and, I don't know, Soviet swamps. It's no fun dating in the UK. Well, I can imagine that. I mean, I haven't dated there since 2006 or 2007, something like that. And I can imagine it's much worse since then. Now you probably need written permission to even talk to a girl in the UK, and then another document if you want to do something with her. But the only good thing about dating a British woman, I would say, is that she pays her share of the bill, which never happens in Eastern Europe. Well, not in the former Soviet countries. So, if you're coming to former Soviet countries to date, then you're going to have to pay. I'm afraid, guys. That's the way it is. But maybe I'm going to write an ebook sometime, how to date Slavic chicks on a budget. Yeah. How to save money when dating Slavic chicks. All right, I'm trying to keep up with these comments. TB, yeah, I got a bit of rental income from the UK, but not very much. Sam Paris, can you explain why you fell out of love with Ukraine? Well, it just became, when I first turned up in Ukraine was 2010, and there wasn't many foreigners around. There was no budget flights bringing deviant Brits and Irish to Ukraine and stuff like that. And, being a foreigner, a Brit, was cool then. And, lots of lovely ladies to get acquainted with, but towards the end, it's cheap flights coming from here everywhere. You even had direct flights from Saudi Arabia and Dubai and stuff like that, and it just got worse and worse. Property prices were increasing. Loads more foreigners were turning up. The girls, they were getting kind of Americanized, let's say, and they went from short skirts and heels into wearing Converse and baggy jeans and that kind of stuff. Caucasian Fritz, do you still observe clicks of your video, or do you give a shit? Well, I just look at views, to be honest. I'm not looking too much at analytics to see, what time of day people are viewing me, what age group, where they came across my videos, something like that. Maybe I should. I think YouTube have shadow banned me, by the way, quite a long time ago, which is probably due to Russia, because some of you guys remember when I went to India and Nepal, my views took a spike. So it seems like I'm not totally shadow banned, but they're definitely not wanting to promote people in Russia at the moment. I mean, there are successful YouTubers in Russia at the moment, but I'm not sure. I don't think any of them are getting paid a lot of money. And also, YouTube is being slowed down in Russia. Now, I'm not sure, like actual Russians making YouTube content in Russia, I think they're not getting monetized anymore. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. Anthony Nelson, what do you think of Keir Starmer? I think he is a boring fart. And, these riots recently in the UK where, they call him two-tier Keir for good reason, because it seems like the UK, people in the UK think that they're better than so-called communist dictatorships like Russia and whatever, but I can't see much difference between like the UK and some other of these so-called dictatorships these days, because you're not free in the UK. You have to be very careful what you say on social media. You could go onto some really video and just write "burn it down," 3 words. Maybe you're a bit special needs, or you've got a problem, but you could end up in jail for a couple of years. Maybe you shouldn't be saying those things, but at the end of the day, it's 3 words typed on a keyboard, whereas you get violent criminals in the UK getting off much more serious offenses. So it seems like the UK, somebody wants to deliberately destroy the country, because nobody in their right mind would just let things fall to the levels that they've fallen. I've got to keep up with these comments here. We've got more people coming online. Keir Starmer. Ednan, my eyesight's starting to go a bit. What are the biggest challenges newcomers to Russia face? Which cities are the easiest to move and to find a job in? Okay, you need to acclimatize yourself when you come to Russia, because it's quite different to how life is in Western countries, especially. So you have to adjust. And before you move to Russia, I think you should visit Russia to see what it's like, because we all get, maybe we see some videos online. Oh, living in Russia is great, blah, blah, blah. But these people are showing you the good aspects of what life is, and there's negative aspects. And in fact, I'm going to be making a video. I'm planning to make a home video talking about what I don't like about Russia. And there are things I don't like, of course, like any country. So you have to acclimatize in Russia. There's bureaucracy is tough. The weather is tough for some people. The language barrier, you got to learn some language. You got to at least do some Duolingo or something before you come, just to do the basics in life, like going to the shop or getting a taxi and stuff like this. I'm going to have to cut down the length of my answers a little bit just to catch up. Pre-Nostrovia isn't post-Soviet. Yeah, it's not post-Soviet. It's still the Soviet Union. Don't forget to give Mr. Tool a like on the stream. Yes, please, guys. I don't ask often for likes and subscribe and do this and do that, but it would help me. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. So then, my next video pops up. And when I do another live stream, like spontaneous, like I've done this time, you're going to know about it. In terms of Turkey, are you a leg or a breast man? Don't know. Sometimes one, sometimes the other. Will you go through Estonia again when you go to Russia? Will they ask some stupid questions there again? Well, if I go to Estonia, they will. It's a notorious border. A lot of people have problems at the Estonian border. They're not the Finnish border. We're much cooler with foreigners there. I don't know what Latvia is like, but I hope not to be using that border too much in future, because they make me feel like they pull this good cop, bad cop shit on me. You got two guys in the immigration room, and one's being really friendly, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. They knew about my YouTube channel because one of my subs wrote to me and says, I'm going to report you to the Estonian border guards. So they knew about my channel, but they thought I was some big influential YouTuber. It's like, oh, how much money are you making through YouTube? And I had to explain to them, look, I'm making 10 euros a month or something like that. I've only got 10,000 subscribers, and Russian clicks don't get much money compared to other clicks. And yeah, they're doing a good cop, bad cop thing on me, but I've seen that all before. I'm going to fall for it. Trying to get my opinions on the Russian war, and I'm saying, I don't know if, I don't support anybody. I'm just a tourist. Rich, I don't know who Rich is. I hope it's not Ben. Announce it, everybody. I'm just spontaneous. Just for those who've come on in the last few minutes or whatever. Yeah, I was just saying I'm a bit of a technophobe with this YouTube stuff, but it seemed pretty easy just to go online on my laptop and do a live stream. So that's cool. I also want to tell people I went out last night and I got very drunk. And I usually don't get hangovers. I haven't had a hangover for a few years, but I had this Long Island iced tea last night, and I don't know, that tipped me over the edge, and I woke up today feeling very bad. So today I've just been eating junk food, drinking tea. I lay in the bath for about 2 hours or something. My hair is still a bit wet. Okay, here is, Anthony Nelson. Do you stay in contact with Bolden Bankrupt? No, I don't. And the expletives I want to use with regard to Bolden Bankrupt are banned from YouTube. I get in trouble. Bold's new book. What's that called? How to shag Soviet hookers for less in Uzbekistan. Okay, case 145. He brings up a good comment here about the YouTuber sabbatical. All right, guys. So I don't know this guy very well, but I've been seeing his videos recently. He went to Russia. It seems like he wants to follow in the footsteps of Bold and Bankrupt, going to all these obscure places in Russia. And yeah, so to cut a long story short, he went to the Russian Chinese border. There's a lookout post there. He hasn't told us the full story yet. He's done one part to his video, and he says he's. I left a comment on his channel, and he says he's been in prison for weeks. But I was looking at his channel, and I was looking at when he was uploading his videos, and I can't see when he could have been in prison for weeks. But I'm reserving judgment until I've seen the second part of his video. But yeah, apparently he didn't have documents. You know, you can't go to a Russian Chinese border post without documents. That's just stupid. You know, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I don't carry documents all the time in Russia, but I was stopped in Kaliningrad by the FSB there, and I had my documents on me because I was going to the border. So yeah, I've been on the receiving end of Russian border control, and it's not very nice, I can tell you. But it's a serious situation there at the moment, I suppose. So yeah, so let's wait to see the second part of Sabbatical's story. Like I said, I don't want to judge at the moment. I will watch the second part and form my conclusions then. Petr Kovacevic, Serbian passport. Yeah, that helps. I mean, I had a lot of troubles on my British passport, and I think the issues I've had with my Serbian passport would have been a lot worse if it was just a British. UK is like Germany and their wokeness. That's right. Have you ever seen a North Korean and a Russia? No, I haven't, and I wouldn't know what a North Korean looks like because you got so many Asian people there that a lot of them are Russians, a lot of them are for the Caucasus regions or the stands, and I can't tell a North Korean from an Uzbek. And I'm not sure about this story about North Koreans in Russia. Maybe they are there, but they're not at the front lines yet. They're being trained up somewhere. It's possible. Who knows? 20 Rothmans, long-time subscriber of mine. Hello. Oh, excuse me. I think I can manage .ru as I've been an expat most of my life, but the summers in isolation from mainstream air routes would be hard. Summers hard? I don't know quite what you mean by that, but yeah. I mean, it's not so convenient in terms of travel these days. Not so many flight routes available, but that's kind of like a blessing in some ways for me because, like I was talking about Ukraine, how it got messed up in the final years before the war, when there's always budget flights to all over the country, bringing in all these riffraff travelers. And they had all these obscure flights flying to Kherson. Wizz Air started flying to Kherson. They're not going to fly to Kherson now, that's for sure. How is life in Estonia? Maybe it's a good alternative for Russia. I found Estonia is pleasant, let's say, but it's a very quiet place, a bit too quiet for me, maybe at this point in my life, but it was nice, I could say, but it was expensive as well. It's the most expensive out of the Baltic countries. So I don't really see the point of moving there, even if I could, if I wanted to. No, it would. I liked Riga. I liked Latvia more. Well, I haven't been. I've only been to Riga, but it's my favorite country in the Baltic so far. I really liked Riga. Do I watch Johnny FD? No, I don't watch Johnny FD. Very occasionally, I'll just quickly look at his channel just to see what stupid stuff he's doing, but. You know, his videos are normally about him stuffing a burger in his mouth and complaining about something. Oh my God, oh, I can't believe it. There's no Wi-Fi here. They're so unfriendly to travelers. Something stupid, you know. I saw some stupid videos of his in Bosnia and yeah. I do a bit of online hustling to make some money, but nothing substantial. A bit of rental income from the UK, but I'm living on a low budget, guys. Wink, wink. Patreon, buying me a coffee, wink, wink. I need to start making more money. So if anybody wants to hire I might, you know what I might do? I might have a consultancy service because I've been living in Eastern Europe a long time and I've traveled a lot. Okay, so I know things about Eastern Europe. So if you need my advice for moving to like Serbia, Ukraine, Russia, something like that. I've dated a lot of ladies as well. Maybe I could have a dating consultancy. So yeah, that's something I could definitely do. Digital nomad stuff. I've been doing that for a long time, since 2007. And yeah, so I've done a lot of traveling. I know, how to live on the road and stuff like that. Connor Klein. Yeah, so I'm editing a video at the moment. It's about Kishinev, and I don't know if I was thinking about not publishing it because it's kind of maybe a bit of a dreary video. But I mentioned Connor Klein in the video because Connor Klein refers to Kishinev as a new Europe, or whatever that means, and yeah, he's running some concierge service where, if some foreign men that qualify come to hang out with him in the nightclubs of Kishinev, he'll be able to magic some attractive ladies for the right price. What part of Serbia is your mother from? Western Serbia, near the Bosnian border. Perfect imitation of Johnny FD. Oh, that guy, he's special. What can I say? I mean, yeah, I got some things to say, but I'm not going to say them on live stream. I'll save it for my memoirs. Can you offer a consulting service for intimate questions about Baltic women? What kind of intimate questions are we talking about, Roberto? I mean, they're all the same when you take their clothes off, But you can message me if you send me a message, realtalltravels@gmail.com, or message me on Instagram. Then I could guide you through the process. Kieran says, I have an awful first attempt on my channel if you want a laugh. I will go to your channel, and I don't know how I can find your channel from your name here on the list. Oh, go to channel. There we go. I'm going to Kieran's channel now, and I've just subscribed. Kieran's video, The Origins of Philosophy. Welcome. And it says iStock on your thumbnail, so I'm presuming that's not actually you. But I promised you I'm going to watch your video on the origins of philosophy, and you just got a new sub. Tall FD, no. Yeah, I mean, Johnny FD, what I'll tell you is I knew about him. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story, all right? This is an exclusive from Tall Travels. So I knew about Johnny FD, okay, before he met up with Bold. And he was posting these Facebook groups, just stupid stuff, Ukrainian Facebook groups for expats, just writing some dumb stuff, and people were laughing at him. And prior to the war taking place, he was even writing in Facebook groups, so how do I get a visa for Russia? And everybody was saying, well, just if you want to just get lost. This is a Ukrainian group. We don't like Russia, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as the war starts, he becomes this very anti-Russian guy and wearing Ukrainian flags on his clothes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I met Johnny FD in Kiev briefly, and of course he was eating as usual. I went to some couch surfing meeting or language meeting, and there was Bold, me, and him, and yeah, he didn't create a very good impression with me, I'll say. I had something else to say about Johnny FD, but I forgot. He'll come back to me soon. Yeah, you're right. FD was interviewed on RT right before the war, and I did a reply to his video. I mean, what a dumb guy. I mean, I shouldn't say that, not dumb. I mean, I don't like to call people dumb. We've all got our kind of skills in life, And to be honest, like, good thing about him that I noticed is he puts out a lot of content. So he puts out a lot more content than me. But yeah, I mean, war's just about to start in Ukraine, then Johnny FD decides it's a good idea to do an interview with Russia Today. I watched a video of Johnny FD, him buying shoes. Oh God. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Johnny doesn't know anything about the war. He's just cementing his position in Ukraine. He's shouting Slava Ukraini, wearing Ukrainian flags, doing all that kind of stuff. It is very cringe. I can't watch his channel. It's tragic. But some people like to watch him. So, and like I said, he's putting out a lot of content. So everybody, there's something for everybody on YouTube. How do you think the war will end? Well, it's going to end in some kind of settlement negotiation, but I can't see why Russia would want to do that at the moment. I mean, they're taking a lot of land in Ukraine. Settlements, villages, towns are moving towards strategic cities like Pokrovsk. I mean, and they don't want to freeze in the conflict, Russia, because that's only going to give Ukraine the chance to regroup. And they've done that before because this is what the Minsk agreement was all about. It was about Ukraine never had any intention to adhere to the Minsk agreement. It's just for them to build up time to build up their military. And that was confirmed by Angela Merkel and that ex-French president, was it Chirac? I can't remember. So it'll come end in some negotiation, but when, I don't know. But like I said, I don't think it's going to be soon. Some people think it's going to be in January. I'd like it to be true, but I don't think so. There's a natural river border west to East Ukraine, Russia. Well, there's the Dnipro River that cuts through the middle of Ukraine. Ted Murphy, have you been to Primorsky Krai? I haven't. That's in the far east of Russia, right? I would like to go to that region, and I will do someday, but not at the moment. I don't have any big trip. I've got some, when I get back to Russia, there's a couple of cities I want to go to. I want to go to Nizhny Novgorod and Arkhangelsk. I would like to go there too. So that could well be on my next trip. And there's other cities I want to go to as well. But yeah, when I go think about going to the far east of Russia, I think about traveling for days on a train, and it kind of puts me off. I mean, I can stop, along the way, which is good, but I don't know. I will do it sometime. I want to go to Lake Baikal, of course. Everybody who goes to Russia should go there. Ednan, are you in contact with Ellie from Russia? That's a ginger girl, right? No, but I occasionally look at her channel, and she goes to some cool places. She's traveling a lot, this girl, and out of the channels that I've seen by Russians in Russia, I think that's definitely one of the best ones she's showing. She came to Serbia as well, as I remember, made some good videos about Serbia. So I do like her channel, I have to say. Asteroids. What's the story behind you introducing Backpacker Ben to Mr. Bold? Okay, it was not a long story. Basically, I came across Backpacker Ben's channel, and he was making videos, and I think it was Syria. No, he was in Lebanon. Pretty sure he's Lebanon at the time. And I don't know. I stumbled across his videos, and then I said to him, Bold and Bankrupt's in Lebanon at the moment. You guys should get together. And he's like, yeah, wow, that'd be great. Thanks. If you could introduce us. And as I recall, I think I sent a message to Bold saying, hey, there's some other guy called Ben. And that's how they got together. So I suppose the thing about Bold, he needs to find somebody with a mental age that is on his level, because he's a 50-year-old man, but he's stuck in the body of a 18 or 19-year-old. So he needs somebody young and energetic to travel with, and who's got a lot of time on his hands. You should go to Vorkuta for a full month. I don't know about a month in Vorkuta, but I would visit there. Bold and Bankrupt told me one time they went to Vorkuta. I don't know if this is public or knowledge or not, but he got beaten up and robbed in Vorkuta. He went to some bar or something, and they offered him a drink, and it was spiked, and they beat him up in the toilets or something like that. So, but no, I would like to go to some of these old gulag towns. I don't know why. Like when I think about winter in Russia, I think about doing that. It'd be a good way to learn Russian. Like go to some gulag town or village or something in the middle of nowhere where nobody speaks English, and then I would improve my Russian quickly. I mean, I'm trying to improve it at the moment. I'm using some apps and whatnot. And also I'm just like trying to speak more in Russian, because when you're learning a language, you can be pretty shy about speaking it, because I think to myself, okay, I got all these words in my head floating around, and I think, okay, if I add this word to that word to that word to that word, it's just going to sound stupid. But it actually does make sense in Russian when you just knock a few words together. It's how it's supposed to be said. So I'm being more confident, and that's part of the reason why I'm here in Prinostrovie, is to also practice my Russian. You've been to Minsk recently. I forgot his name. YouTuber who loves Partisan. I haven't been to Minsk recently. I'd like to go back there, but I'm looking at the accommodation prices on the websites there, and it's pretty expensive for accommodation in winter. I'm talking, about 3 or 4 times more than I'm paying in St. Petersburg. So why would I? Much better to go to St. Petersburg. I mean, I like Minsk, but you can't compare Minsk to St. Petersburg, because obviously Minsk was obliterated during World War II, so a lot of the nice stuff is gone. But I do like the country, and I'm always happy to go back there occasionally. But I haven't been there for a few years, so definitely want to go back. Is your Soviet apartment's bathroom a toilet and bath, but with no sink? No, there's a sink in the bathroom, I can confirm. I'm not going to show you my apartment tonight because there's a mess. Because I said I've been hungover all day and just like throwing clothes around and all this kind of stuff. I cleaned up the kitchen a bit before I did a live stream. You can see it's not too bad, but you don't want to see in there. It's a mess through there. What do I think of the Russian shared values visa? I think it's good. So there's a lot of people who would like to move to Russia, but they haven't had the opportunity, and they've said they like Russia, blah blah blah, and what Russia stands for these days. So here's your chance. You go to your local consulate in whatever country you are. If you're from an unfriendly country, you make an appointment with them and you say, look, I don't like the direction my country's moving in. You got this, you got this, you got this, you got that. And that's it. You apply for a visa that gives you 3 months to be in Russia, and during that 3 months, you apply for your temporary residency. You need to get a criminal record check, and that needs to be apostle translated. You need a couple of other documents, but you don't need to pass a Russian test like you did in the past. And it doesn't matter where you're getting your income from or anything like that. So it's a golden opportunity for those who want to move to Russia. I'm sure, like during these times, there's a lot of people that don't want to move to Russia, and I can understand that. But if you want to take a walk on the wild side, then here's your opportunity. St. Petersburg will win every time. St. Petersburg is a cool city. Just before I say that, Caucasian Fritz, he's off for tonight. Okay, thanks for joining. Yeah, I think I'll do another live stream again soon because it was pretty easy for me to set up. I thought it'd be technically difficult or something to fill out like that. I'm a bit of a technophobe, like I said, but it seems easy, so sure, why not? So thanks for coming, Caucasian Fritz. Have a good night. What kind of music do you listen to? You have a pretty good taste, judging from snippets from your videos. So I like, I'm a rock music guy, okay? So I like hard rock, some metal, post-punk. So I like, some alternative 90s like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Smashing Pumpkins. And then metal music, yes, Iron Maiden, Pantera, older stuff like Led Zeppelin. Judas Priest. I love Judas Priest. And some post-punk, The Cure, Bauhaus. I don't know, I'm trying to think of them all now, but that kind of 80s post-punk, I like a lot of that stuff. Exploited, I'm not really a punk. I'm not really that much into punk music, more like post-punk. But some of it I like, and maybe I should listen to more. Roberto, I'm not a video games player, I'll be honest. I used to be when I was younger, but I was one of these guys who kids that got angry when they're playing computer games. So yeah, I would also you don't realize how long you're playing these games for. Like you can get lost in these games for hours. And I don't want to do that. So I'm not into playing games, I have to say, computer games. But I used to like the shooty ones, like Call of Duty, something like that, back in the day. But I don't think I get into gaming seriously. Let's have a look out the window, see what's happening. Not much. It's pretty quiet here at the weekends. There's not that much nightlife, to be honest. There's just one pub that we went out to last night, busy pub. And then there's one nightclub and some restaurants and stuff like that. But it's a quiet place. There's Tiraspol. Ted Murphy, have you been to Romania? I have, but not for quite a while. When I was spending time in Serbia, I used to go to Timișoara sometimes, and I really liked this city. And it had good nightlife there. I was going to some good bars, and they had some nightclubs there. And I had a good time in Timișoara. I haven't been to... the first time I went to Bucharest was in 2007. I went to Cluj as well. That's a pretty nice city. So I have been to Romania, but not much these days. Ziggy, do you watch Sergei Baklakov? Yes, and I met him briefly in the street in St. Petersburg. So I think he's got a good channel. He's, talking a lot about the history of St. Petersburg, which is cool. So you got to respect the guy. and I met him, but he had a very soft handshake, a bit like Bold and Bankrupt. If you shake Bold and Bankrupt's hand, it's like a wet fish or something like that. And the same with Baklakov's handshake. So, what does an average day for you look like um, in Tiraspol? Well, that's a good question. I was thinking about doing like one of those videos, like a day and the life of Tall Travels. Okay, so I wake up, I have my breakfast, and I have porridge oats. I'm not sure if you want it in so much detail. It's porridge oats. I have some eggs. I have like 4 eggs in the morning. I'm going to the gym at the moment. It doesn't maybe look like it, but I'm getting a bit more strength. So I need to eat quite a lot. So I have a big breakfast. Then I'll do a bit of internet stuff, a bit of hustling on there. And I go to the gym. And I come back, some more internet stuff, some food shopping, maybe meeting some people in Tiraspol. And it does get a bit boring here. I have to admit. And yeah, St. Petersburg is beckoning. I mean, there's just so much more stuff going on in St. Petersburg. I have found myself a little bit bored here. Ednan, to me, Russian culture is nice. With that said, what is the hardest obstacle to finding a job, short of language and living in Russia? Backtracking on my first question. Um, yeah, short of learning the language, it's cultural adjustment. If you don't have experience in this part of the world, then it's difficult adjusting. And yeah, I mean, if you know the language, if you're fluent in Russian, then that obviously can give you a big boost. Um, yeah, but other obstacles, I don't know. Finding a job that's paying enough to make you comfortable in Russia, that's obviously important. Because, a lot of foreign companies are pulling out of Russia at the moment, or at least pausing their operations until the war ends, because they're not stupid, these companies. Russia's a big market for them. So, they do all this virtue signaling, blah, blah, blah. They're saying they're pulling out, whatever, but they're just freezing things there. And then once the war started, they'll start up again. But yeah, used to have a lot more foreigners living in Russia. There was a lot more opportunities for work in the country. Got a little bit more air in here. So, yeah. What do you not like about England? Okay. Well, okay. I'll do some bullet points. What do I know? Okay. It's just not a great. Okay, so it's expensive there, and I don't see the value in living in the UK. Let's say you're making, I don't know, a couple of grand a month or something like that after taxes or whatever. In England, you're not going to have a great time on a couple of grand a month, but you go somewhere in Eastern Europe and you're like a king. So, how can you not like that? So if you can find your way to get those pounds, earn those pounds and spend them in cheaper countries, then you're winning, aren't you? I don't like how in the UK, let's take it. I'm a middle-aged male, okay? I'm a middle-aged white male. And that's not a good thing to be in the UK in the year 2024. When I was last living in England, everything was fine. But now, the UK has become so woke. It's it's a very hostile environment to people like me, and they're importing all these illegal immigrants who are just coming from totally different cultures, different way of lives, and we're expecting them to assimilate. Of course, they're not going to assimilate. Um, you know, because when you have other people coming into your country, you can't predict how they're going to act. Like in Russia, things are very safe on the streets because things are predictable. Russian people act in the same way, you know. But if they started importing people from here, there, and everywhere, then it would become dangerous as well. And in Russia, you will regularly see the authorities rounding up people on the streets and deporting them, which unfortunately doesn't happen in the UK. We get thousands of people per day coming to the UK in small boats, and we don't get rid of any of them. They all stay in nice hotels, paid for by the taxpayers. We don't get rid of a single one. We try to deport them. Then some hotshot lawyers stop the process and say it's against the human rights. So the UK needs to leave the human rights EHCR and stop this madness. You know, we can't just take in everybody who claims to be in danger in their own country or whatever. And they're coming from France, for Christ's sake, across the English Channel. So France is not a dangerous country. So yeah, so that's immigration. There's anarcho-feminism, and the economy is shit. The UK, by whoever is responsible for blowing up Nord Stream, you know, it seems like Americans definitely have had a hand in it, and there's other actors as well. So Europe has deindustrialized itself. The German people should be very angry that this happened, to be honest, because it smashed their economy and it smashed ours as well. But you know, they're trying to distract the populace from this by saying, "Oh, Putin bad. Focus on that instead." So yeah, I'm not sure the German economy will ever recover from this, because they had a very nice deal for a long time, cheap gas in which to feed their economy, and then they decided, decided to blow it up. Is it difficult to open a bank account in Russia as a foreigner? No, it's very easy. You just go in the bank, take your passport, and that's it. And yeah, it's difficult to get your money into that bank from overseas, but to open up a bank account is very easy if you want to get your rubles paid in there. What's a supplement you have? What's it good for? I got BCAA. I think I take it before I have a workout to give me a bit of a boost, and I use creatine as well. That's a good one. I've noticed improvements in my strength using creatine. I used to be a lot stronger before I started having all these back problems and stuff, and it's been harder for me to get back in shape these days. But I'm trying to do 100 push-ups every day. I haven't done it every day, but even if I do 80 some days, it's good, and I've seen the difference. So I'm getting in better shape these days. Are there any Indian or Chinese food places in town? No. I mean, if there is, there's probably some kind of Chinese food, but you're not going to like it. Probably some greasy noodles, and you're not going to have actual Chinese people making Chinese food here. So yeah, it's not that. I just basically I'm a meat and potatoes kind of Brit, you know, and my cooking skills are not good. I just go to the market, I get some big pork steaks or chicken. Let's see what I got in the fridge. It's a very like man fridge. I got some chicken breast I bought today. I got some eggs. I eat a lot of eggs, I told you. I got some cottage cheese, tvorog, they call it. And I got a beer and mozzarella, some barbecue sauce. Yeah, I just have like meat, potatoes, some vegetables. Then I change pork for chicken, and then chicken for beef, and I change potatoes with rice or pasta or something, and like that. I'll learn to cook one day. Even my town in Scotland is beginning to be described as multicultural. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's not multicultural, then Keir Starmer will say, Dumbarton needs some diversity, and then they'll move in 1,000 illegal immigrants, and there we go. Oh, I'm glad I caught up with most of the messages here, but keep them coming, guys. Oh, do some stretches. Jesus Christ, what was that? I don't know. There's a horrible scream I heard from a dog there. I don't know if it was attacked or a car ran over it or something, but it scared me, made me jump. Dum, 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 dum. Oh, let's see what food I got here. Bought these little mandarins today. Delicious. Sam Paris, if you could go back in time, what would you do different? Me, I spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia and discovered Eastern Europe later. It was instant regret. Yeah. Okay, so I suppose in 2003, I went to Australia. I did the working holiday thing, and I spent a year living there. But I would have loved to have gone to Russia in 2003. That would have been really cool. But, Russia was expensive in those days. And it was, you need a visa and all that stuff. And no, I can't say I regret that, because all my life my dream was to go and live in Australia. And same reason as a lot of Brits, we grew up watching Neighbours and Home and Away. And I achieved my dream of going to Australia, but to be honest, I had a better time in Southeast Asia. And and you could say, when I moved to Serbia in 2007, I can't regret spending time in Serbia, but I wish I went to Ukraine. I first went to Ukraine in 2010, but I wish I went maybe a year or two earlier. But it's not a big regret, because I went at a good time in 2010. I was at my peak as a man, and I enjoyed my time there. Okay, case 145, thanks for coming tonight. It's good to chat to you. I'll put out a community post next time I do a live stream. Ireland seems to have gone off the rails as much as the UK. Yeah, I mean, I used to talk to Irish Partisan about this. I was complaining to him about things in the UK, like immigration. And then Partisan was saying, "Oh, we don't have that problem here in Ireland. It's we don't have all those immigrants." And then, of course, things change in Ireland, and there's a different story today. Yeah, I mean, Eastern Europe back in the day was a bit more raw than today. I mean, yeah, Serbia was cool back in 2007 when I moved there. It was a bit more wild. The nightlife was good. There wasn't too many tourists there, so it was an authentic experience. But as time has gone by in Eastern Europe, things have become a lot more westernized, so it doesn't quite have that luster compared to the days like not long after the Iron Curtain fell or whatever. Touring in an Arab country. Well, honestly, not really, but I'm open to anything. $46 people online, everybody. So if you got some comment to make, then feel free. Conor McGregor seems to be upset about what's going on in Ireland. Yeah. I don't know. I don't follow him very much, but I know he's quite vocal on social media. So I went to Ireland. I lived in Ireland when I was young, back in 1998, and that was, it was, Dublin was a different place then. And I briefly spent time living in this dodgy part of Dublin called Summerhill, and it was dodgy as fuck, really. And I was living in this flat share there with some dubious characters, and I was working there for a while, and but yeah, I had a great time there back in the day, and the millennium, the year 2000, I was there as well. Okay. Okay, guys. So we've been live streaming for an hour and 25 minutes. So probably do another 5 minutes or so. It's more tiring than I thought doing live streams, especially when you're recovering from a hangover. So if anybody's got any more questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. I didn't eat anything really all day today. I had my breakfast at about 7 o'clock, and so I got to make up for the food I didn't eat today. Alcohol is bad for you. You're absolutely right. And I was thinking, I don't drink that much, to be honest. When I was younger, I was more of a party boy, so I was drinking more, but I was never, a heavy drinker, let's say, more a social drinker. But this morning I said, right, come on, Tour Travels, you should stop drinking. It's not fun these days. So, yeah, I really want to drink less in future. I mean, I'm not a purist. I don't see any point just stopping altogether. Why would I? I'm not somebody who gets addicted to alcohol or smoking or something like that. So a drink every now and again is fine, but I don't know. Last night I hadn't been out in a while, so I got a bit carried away, and I didn't think I drank that much, but I had that Long Island iced tea, and I don't know what they put in it. Maybe some Soviet concoction, and yeah. Can a tourist get a Mir card, Jack? Yes, they can indeed. I have a Mir card from Raiffeisen Bank. So yeah, that's no problem at all. And not sure which countries you can use it outside Russia. Maybe Vietnam. Maybe I heard something like that. You can't use it here in Prinostrova, unfortunately. I tried that. Any unheard, salacious Mr. Bold stories to give us a laugh. Well, I got many, of course, because I've known Mr. Bold since 2012, way before he started doing YouTube. So, I know a lot of stuff about him. Should I spill them now or should I keep them for future? But yeah, I'll have a think about that. Mr. Bold is lost in northern China. Oh, good. I hope he never finds his way out either. Okay, guys, I'll tell you one thing about Mr. Bold. Quite an embarrassing thing. So he's very body conscious, okay? And he's always fretting about his skinny legs and his skinny bum. And back in the day, he had these prosthetic bum things he used to put in his jeans. Okay. So I don't know what they were, but some kind of like prosthetic bum pads or something that he put in his trousers. No, I'm not kidding. I'm serious. That's it. You heard it here first on Tour Travels. That's how I'm going to get you to come to my live streams in future. Like every time you get one story about Bold. He is the most self-conscious person you've ever met. if you just want to destroy his self-esteem, you can just say, "Hey, Bold, your bum's looking a bit skinny today," or something like that, and he will hate you forever. He's very self-conscious. Yeah, so guys, we're almost at the end of the live stream, I think. Oh, so Ted, it's a long story what happened with us, but let's say I have many grievances with him. Um, he was not really ever a good friend. I don't think he has any good friends in life, really. He's like, I met up with him. We weren't speaking for a long time, and then I met up with him. He messaged me when I was in Serbia, I think it was. He says, "Hey, Tool, I haven't spoken to you for a long time. I got my YouTube channel now, blah, blah, blah." And I was like really happy for him. I was like, wow, because those of us that knew Bold knew he had a talent, like back in the day, for writing. So when you see a friend or an old friend who's, capitalized on his talents, I was very happy for him. And it's like, so we started doing a bit of traveling together. And then I soon realized, he was just looking for a traveling companion, basically, because he's a very lonely person. He doesn't like to be on his own. So that's why he goes from friend to friend. Like, first of all, it's Harold Boulder, then it's Johnny FD, then he's found Backpacker Ben, and next person, I don't know, but he needs a traveling companion all the time. Michael Jose, glad you're living the digital gonad dream. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up for this evening. So I hope. Okay, I'll answer this last question from Rich. What happened to the man who lived alone in the woods in Chernobyl? Apparently, they found him some new apartment or something like that. But I was with Bold the whole time he was making this video, and yeah, he's just some guy he found on the street, old guy, and he thought, okay, this could be good material. So I was with him when we took him to the supermarket to do his shopping spree of vodka and sausages and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. He was, yeah, he's a doddery old guy, and I didn't speak to him very much because my Russian wasn't very good at the time. So I hope he's doing well wherever he is, and he's healthy, and yeah, whatever. Yeah, Collier has his own channel. That's right. How can Backpacker Ben put up with Bold for so long? Well, how can either of them put up with each other for so long? How can the YouTube world put up with Backpacker Ben and his moaning for so long? I think Backpacker Ben and Johnny FD, they should do some videos together, just be a 24-hour moanathon with both of them. I mean, yeah, he's a bit dull, Backpacker Ben, we have to say. I mean, I think he can attribute pretty much all of his success on YouTube to hanging out with Bold. So, yeah. All right, guys, I think that's it for tonight. So I'm happy with tonight because I managed to do a live stream. I'm not sure how difficult it was or anything. And thank you for turning up, because I didn't announce this. This was just spur of the moment. I literally came in my kitchen and I pressed let's go live. So that was cool. So I'm going to announce the next one, and hopefully we'll have some more viewers. And yeah, so I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Those of you back in the UK, Christmas is coming. Hope you have a great Christmas if I don't speak to you before then. And I'm going to be back in Russia. It looks like I'm going to be back in January, all being well. I'm going to be here for a little while longer in Prinostrova, then I'm going back to the UK. So yeah, take care of yourself, guys. I had a good one. I hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you are. Okay, see you later.